And I want to talk mainly to people who believe that Obama's policies are good policies. I don't want to yell at you now, and I don't want you to get upset with me, and but here, can I just say a thing, just a couple things, and I'm going to just ask you to kind of, press the pause button for a moment on anger and heated temperatures, and then press the pause button for a moment, and let me just say a couple things to you. Here, America now, the government of America, with this health care bill that's being introduced and will pass, and ever how it is voted on and passed, it will have the public option. It will be government takeover of health care. But can I say something to you? That this will expand the government larger than the military, larger than the IRS, larger than the education department. This will be the largest segment of our society now under the umbrella of the government, and nothing in the history of this republic it will be as massive as this government takeover of health care. 1/6 of the total GDP of this nation, covering every American and no American left out of this process of the health care reform bill. Now, I'm saying that because I want to say to you, our government is too big. It's growing every day. New agencies, and every time a new agency is put together or installed, government agency, then there are regulations that govern that agency. When the founding fathers established America, it was their intent that government would be small and would be unintrusive in American life. For many years, we had no personal income tax. For many years, the government was established, and still to a large degree now, the only taxation that should happen in America should be property taxes. There has been a lot of debate about the legality constitutionally as to whether or not individuals should be taxed on their wages, on their earnings. Only should property taxes be had. But in order to have a large government, the bigger the government gets, the more agencies it runs, the more government programs that it oversees, the more money it needs to run these programs, the more people they need to run it and to pay, and the more legislation they have. Every time a new government agency is created, there are mounds and mounds of new legislation that goes along with it. The health care bill that was passed by the House the other day the bill was nearly 2,000 pages long of new regulation, as if we don't have enough government red tape, as if we don't have enough government legislation, as if we don't have enough government instructions and government laws. There's another 2,000 pages to be added just to admit this health care program. And then there'll be more government agencies, more people working for the government, the government needing more taxes to run all these programs. And it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and larger and larger. The one thing I'll say good about Ronald Reagan, he was for smaller government. The government has long since been just too big. Everywhere you look, you're running into the government. Everywhere you look, the government runs some sort of agency. Everywhere you look, the government's got its hands in something. And that is not the way this nation should run. And that is not the way the founding fathers of this nation wanted us to be. Completely ran and censored or monitored or legislated or taxed by the government. That was never the intent of our Constitution. What Obama wants to do is to make the government even larger than it is right now, which means you got to have more taxes to pay these people's salary. Fire all of these people. Fire them. Let them go out and get a job in the private sector. Let them go sell pencils, pick cotton, sweep streets, anything rather than live off your tax money. And I know that you've been to a government office where people are just sitting there all day long, drinking coffee, getting fat salaries. Did you know that if a congressperson gets elected to Congress and they serve only 1 year or one term as a congressperson, they automatically, after one term of service, which includes 2 years, they get a pension. If they leave Congress, they voted out and they leave Congress, they get a pension of $26,000 a year after having gotten their salary and all their perks and all their connections of just 2 years of serving as a congressperson. They get a pension for the rest of their lives of $26,000 a year with seasonal cost of living adjustments every year. $26,000 for serving 2 years pension, whether they're 10 years old or 1,000 years old. And if they serve, I think it's 6 terms, which will be 12 years, then they get a pension of $126,000 a year. Any congressperson you know that has served 6 terms, 2 terms limit, 12 years as a congressperson, if they leave Congress or get voted out, they take with them a salary from the government of $126,000 a year. And think of all these Congress people we got out here in America now that are no longer in Congress that are getting $126,000 a year. That's what, somewhere close to $3,000 a week. And they just sit there and collect it. The government is too big. Taxes are too heavy. And to support all these programs of the government. What Obama wants to do is make government bigger. Every Democrat's dream is to increase government. More social programs, more governmental programs, more red tape, more this, more that, more taxes, more, bigger, when the one thing that Republicans should stand for, and as a part of has been their understanding, is to decrease the size of government, make government smaller, shut down some of these agencies that require taxpayer money to run them. And going back to the other thing, is that these government people get paid large sums of money. Listen, Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the House, all she is a congresswoman from San Francisco. The Speaker of the House she is. Well, you know, the government has bought her a jet. I mean, a 727 jet plane. And to fly that plane back to California each week when she goes home and come back cost the American taxpayer $120,000 a week in fuel to fly her plane. These are the kind of perks. Listen, Congresspersons are so out of touch with reality. Senators, they're not in touch with reality. They got perks. They got special babysitters. They got special schools. They get special treatment. They get chauffeurs. They get special lunches in addition to their salary. And guess who pays for that? The taxpayer. Well, enough of that. We need to cut down government. Obama has put in, last I heard, he has created 46 new bureaucracies, new agencies that require more people getting salaries of at least $150,000 a year, plus perks, plus housing, plus travel. And haven't you seen these congressmen get on planes talking about they're going to visit the troops in Afghanistan? Well, before they get to Afghanistan, they stop off in Paris for 3 days at the Grand Hotel, eat lobster, caviar, drink the best of wines, stay in $500 a night hotel rooms in Paris before they make it the next leg of their trip to Afghanistan. All paid for by the government. All paid for by the taxpayer. And then on their way back from Afghanistan, they stop off in Curacao or down in the Cayman Islands for a day or so, and Aura, and all that's paid for by the government. It's not considered a vacation. It is considered a congressional excursion over to see about our troops. Yet it cost us nearly $30 million to send 4 or 5 of them over there. And notice how often they say, well, I just got back from Iraq. What they really ought to be saying is I just got back from a vacation in Paris is what they really ought to be saying. And yet Obama wants to make government larger. People, please listen to me. Please wake up. Want to put more people on the government payroll. I say fire all of them. Get rid of all of them. All of them. And by the way, God be my help and my strength. I'm going to see Obama go to trial. And from there, I'm going to see him tried and convicted for treason. And everybody else that's involved in the process, and I'm going to be talking about that a little bit later, we're going to clean house. No. God give me the strength. We're going to clean house. But having said that, these politicians get their expenses paid, to fly their families wherever they go. I mean, it is just ridiculous. Okay, well, so fine. That's how it is. Fine. That's how you voted for them. Fine. Well, let's stop it here. Don't hire any more congresspersons. Don't do gerrymandering and then make more districts so you'll have to have more congressmen. I mean, why is it that we got to have so many congressmen for the New York district? Listen, Charles Rangel is the congressman of this district. He never comes here. He never even comes here. I mean, he's got houses all over everywhere. He's got billions of dollars, millions of dollars in the bank. He and every other congressman, they all do the same, and they all protect one another. And then you look at the television and see them fighting on the floor. The Democrats are against the Republicans.